Right, everyone, it's transfer time. It's a transfer rumours and news show. Unfortunately, Gio isn't around, nor is his little pink book. So you're just going to have to do with me. What I've done is I've made notes because some people here I don't know much about, so I need to make notes on them from Wikipedia. Let's be real about it. But also, I've got my dangerously large football intellect. You know, I've got a footballing brain like Xavi or Pirlo, you know, or the like. So that's going to guide us through this. That's going to see us through. But let's start with the big one. And by the big one, I mean the one that's actually happened and is done and dusted. That is Frederick Alves, the under-21 Danish centre-back, has joined officially. There's a picture of him, shirt and everything. It's probably in the thumbnail scenes. He is joined for around about £1 million from Silkeborg on a deal until 2024. Now, we've known this has been happening since about November. There was a rumour going around that he was being sold to an unknown Premier League club and it was all done and dusted. People said it's West Ham. Turns out it was. Now, I know nothing about him. So this is the Wikipedia time. I've got my notes. So we see how it goes. 47 league appearances he's made since September 2018 when he joined Silkeborg. He apparently spent some time in Brazil. As a youth player. I think one of his parents is Brazilian, but he's obviously played for the Danish under 20 and 21 side. I think it's one of those things where it's low risk, high reward, right? You bring him in for a low figure, around about 1 million. If he flourishes and he goes on to become, I don't know, a banger, Winston Reid, or whatever you want to compare him to if you're talking with Denmark, excellent. You make your money back. It's more than worth the investment. He's going to be on incredibly low wages comparatively. All good. One of my problems with this transfer is that he is now standing directly in the way of any of our youth team centre-backs. And it's just a quote here from David Moyes I want to pull up. And I quote, "We want to keep trying to add young players and we want to try and make the squad younger. First of all, good, because we have the oldest squad in the league, and that's concerning." The quote carries on, he's probably not for just now, but he's a player with a bit of potential. So, and this is what I mean. He's going to be standing directly in the way of any of the under-23, under-21, whatever centre-backs you want to say, because he's not going to be first team. I doubt it. In my head, I compare him to Cardoso or Haksabanovic, you know? One of these, like, high-potential youngsters we're going to get for next to no money. If it works out grand. If it doesn't, hopefully we can sell him for 1 or 2 million down the line. That's sort of where we stand with this. It's a bit frustrating to see the path for youth players blocked, in my opinion. But I can't act like I don't like us seeing. I can't act like I don't to see us go and sign youth players and sign younger players, because, like I said, we have an incredibly old squad, and that's one of the problems. Like, as good as we have been, it's one of the problems that's going to come up sooner rather than later. As good as we have been, and as consistent as David Moyes has managed to make the team selection is the 11, it's an old 11, and so there is going to be some churn at some point. There is going to be some turnaround at some point. Maybe this is the beginning of it. Maybe he'll come in later down the line. But like I say, low risk, high reward. It could go great. But there's another quote from Moyes I'm going to pull up, and this is about the general state of the January transfer window for West Ham United. And I quote, "As far as January goes, we don't have any big intentions of making signings. But the owners have said that they would help if we need it. If we need it, we'll go and get it. But January is not always great market." This was followed up because someone asked X a question about how much budget we have. And X said, quote, "A minimal one, I would suspect." We all expected this. We didn't think there were going to be many big movements in January. I think the money is there. But I think the excuse of Ben Rama existing on a loan to buy with 25 million down the line already exists. The thing is with the Ben Rama money is I think it already existed before. It's just moving it down the line. I don't think we didn't have that money to spend. But it's an easy excuse, isn't it? It's an easy excuse, unfortunately. And it's not something that I think any of us would be shocked by, which means, and this is when I put my speculation hat on for a second, loans are more likely. And that's something we're about to get into here. There's been a lot of links of people on loans, basically. We're going to go through the main ones here. There's a couple I'm going to leave out. But there's basically everyone is West Ham are interested in this player on loan. West Ham are interested in that player on loan. Gio brought up in a tweet earlier in the week that we currently have 2 domestic players on loan, which would mean we would have to terminate one of those if we wanted to go and get another loan signing from the Premier League. Now, I'm about to mention 3 players. 2 aren't from the Premier League, but 1 specifically is. So that's something to keep in mind. And there was another rumour going around, as per The Athletic, that Winston Reid may make, if I quote it actually, Winston Reid could make a shock return to West Ham's squad in January. Now, he's obviously just come back from America. Again, speculation hat on, ladies and gentlemen. Does that mean Dawson is going? Dawson hasn't played any games. He's played once, I think, in EFL Cup for the under-23s. He won't be missed. If Winston Reid comes in, you think, fine, Craig Dawson could go, and then that would mean we would have space for a loan signing. I don't know. That's just me. We'll take the speculation hat back off now and go into some hard rumours straight from one uncertainty to another. But that's just something I'm putting out there. The first one comes from La Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy, who have said, quote, West Ham have a real chance of signing Christian Eriksen next month, end quote. And are saying that Inter are willing to loan him out in January. Again, loan. It's not happening, is it? Let's not kid ourselves here. Christian Eriksen, he would come in. I remember Gio spoke about this on a video not long, so I'm not going to touch on it for too long. He'd be one of the best players in our squad by a country mile. Christian Eriksen is incredibly good. He's such a good footballer. It's not quite worked out for him at Inter Milan, which is a shame. But Inter Milan are obviously doing very well of late in general. And you wouldn't blame him for saying, well, he's not really fitting into our plans. We don't really miss him. Let's try and see what we can do with this. He's a banger. He's brilliant. But it's not happening. And B, to be honest with you, even if we were trying to get him on loan and there was an opportunity, we don't need him. We don't need him. He plays in a position we already have. He's a central attacking midfielder, and we already have Lanzini and Fornals. Now, is he better than both of those players? Yeah, of course he is. But is he such a significant improvement we should put out such a high wage outlay or transfer outlay or anything like that? Not really. There's bigger places to pay attention to in the squad. I think it would be a bad move. And that's what comes on to the last two we're just going to talk about here. And it's the position most people are talking about at the moment. It's left back. Of course, after Masuaku got injured, could be out for, I think it was several months, wasn't it? Which has put that firmly in our minds, and I suspect the minds of journalists, which make rumours a bit easy. So what I've done is I've picked out the 2 main left-back rumours we've seen of late. There's a couple of interesting ones that have popped up over the last day or two. For example, the Rangers left-back. There was a possibility of a loan or a signing there. I think he's rated at 8 mil or something. Has 10 assists this season. Stuff like that. There's a couple of interesting ones bubbling under the surface, but these are the main 2 people have spoken about. The first one is Junior Firpo, who is the Barcelona left-back, who we have, quote, a long-standing interest in. That comes way of Mundo Deportivo, who are reporting we have made, quote, a proposal to sign him on loan in January. And that Barcelona are open to that. Junior Firpo has been there since, I think, last summer. I want to say 2019, summer, I reckon. Joined from Betis, highly rated, highly thought of, but it's just not worked out for him at Barcelona. I think he's played a handful of times. Very, very good player, especially for our level. Jesus Christ, would I take him in an instant? But obviously not worked out for him at Barcelona. And this long-standing interest thing is me, if you're translating that's has been linked to West Ham before, so it's an easy link to make again, potentially. And the other one is Oleksander Zinchenko, who is the Manchester City left-back, also 24 years old. And this one's coming from X, so it's got a little bit more credibility to it, I would suggest. X has reported that City have told him they are willing to listen to offers, and has suggested that an initial loan could suit both us and Manchester City. X also said that apparently his ability to play in either a back 4 or a back 5 appeals to David Moyes. This is the one I think is more likely. This is the one Gio tweeted out about the domestic loans. If we are to try and sign him on loan, we would have to release one of our 2 loanees, one being Ben Rama, the other being Dawson. If that's going to happen, it's going to be Dawson. Let's be real. Against my wishes, I like Craig Dawson. The only person who does, but he's a good lad. But it would be him, wouldn't it? Zinchenko's a very good player. It's not quite worked out for him again at City fully, but I do think he is very good. He's had an interesting career. He was when he was slightly younger, about 2 years ago, before he started really playing a lot under Pep, he wasn't even a left back. I think he was like a central midfielder or something. And then he got converted there, James Milner style, and was a slight revelation there. And I think I've been really impressed with him since. I don't blame it for not working out at City. City have obviously got huge goals, and we know they love buying a fullback. So it doesn't surprise me. And they do have a lot of fullbacks on the books. I think if I went and looked, they'd have a lot of left backs. I should have done that before this, but it doesn't surprise me that they'd be willing to listen to offers. I think they'd probably be looking for just a straight money thing. But as X said, an initial loan could suit us both. They get him off the books, they get him playing, and then we get someone in that we need. He would come straight into the squad. Him or Firpo, if we signed either of them, they would go straight in as the first choice left wing back or left back. Don't get it twisted. They're both significantly better than the options we have. I like them both. I would take either of them. But to be honest, I doubt both. I don't have much faith that we're going to sign anyone big in the window. I think we will get some loans, potentially. But it wouldn't surprise me if Craig Dawson was here at the end of the window and we signed someone on a very low fee from somewhere, random from the Championship. Let's go with Preston, a striker perhaps. He's not there anymore. He's at Norwich. It's a sad times. But there you go. Those are the main things that are happening in the West Ham world right now. If I've missed any, let me know in the comments below. I probably won't see you now until Christmas. It's December 22nd. I probably won't be on camera again until Boxing Day at the very earliest. So if I don't, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope whatever you do during this time, you have a grand old time and be safe, of course, during this horrendous year. Not long to go now, thankfully, until it's over. But I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. I hope you have a grand old time. Eat too much and then regret it the next day. But, it's good times. December 25th, always a banging time. I hope you have a good one. I will see you probably after the new year on the 27th when we have the watch along once again. Come join me for that. But until then, cheers. And we're not signing anyone. Let's be real about it.